There we go. The Bridgeport Bridge. I'm making it to the Mississippi. Damn, now I got a paddle. I'm gonna run into the bridge abutment. Okay, paddling time. All right, guys, there it is. I've set up the last camp of the trip because tomorrow I'm gonna be off the river. It's been 5 days so far, a short 6th day tomorrow. Today went pretty damn good. I had really strong tailwinds. Didn't need to paddle much. Every once in a while you had to change sides of the river to find a better current. But boy, the end goal is not that far away. You can't see it from here, but I can see the hills at the far side of the Mississippi when you got a straight view to the west. So I'm going like, holy smoke, it's pretty darn close. Now, I just gotta say, you know, when I first got the old floating mail postal tote and put it together, I remember thinking, are you kidding me? That's a boat. But I've gone almost 90 miles now in the last 5 days. Thing's doing its job. I was somewhat concerned that this none too luxurious seat this thing had would give me crap, but you know, it turned out to be just fine. So I think the thing is a really legitimate, you know, adventure machine for, you know, calm water, smooth rivers. It's way exceeded my expectations, especially from that first day when I put it together. So tomorrow I maybe got maybe only a few hours if the conditions are good. If I get a blistering headwind, it will take more, but I'm not getting picked up till 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so I got all the time in the world regardless of what the conditions do. It's the last morning of the trip, and if you look over here, you can see there's a hell of a breeze going already. Luckily, it's in the way I'm going. The only slight concern might be when I make the bend onto the Mississippi and start heading south, whether I have a headwind. But given the easterly nature of this, I should be able to tuck against the east shore and be fine. Now, I want to point out that if you look around, are we looking around? We're looking around. You'd consider yourself to be in a remote wilderness area, you know, decoupled from civilization and the day-to-day world. However, that illusion falls apart when it comes to the old ears. Will the guy shooting off his shotgun endlessly this morning, will he accommodate us by taking a shot? Go! Yeah, okay. Before the sun had even risen completely, there's the bang, bang, bang of shotguns. And tell the truth, you're never far from highway noise. Highway 60 on one side, these other ones you hear trains and planes going by. This is a little corridor of nature, but you're surrounded by a pretty dense part of civilization. And then nature itself, like if you like to do the whole sleeping thing interrupted, which is not a physical possibility for me, those cranes just make crazy noises. And then there's the geese, who are the anti-sleeping campaign, who come by. Like I said, for me, it's not particularly big deal because, you know, it's just sleeping doesn't work that well anyway. But, you know, visually, let's soak it in a little bit. I mean, if I went around the corner of this river and saw a brontosaurus chewing on the top of a tree, you know, it wouldn't seem all that out of character for a place like this. All right, there's a train going over the Wisconsin River. In the distance is the hills on the west bank of the Mississippi. So the rule of the day is no paddling unless you're positioning yourself in the river, because all I gotta do is get to the Mississippi and then go downstream a few miles And I'm not going to get picked up till 5. It's only 9, so no paddling. That's the rule. So somewhere up there is the lookout point at Wyalusing State Park, a place that I've been many a times before in the past. I'd come out here when the leaves were changing, and this valley is the most amazing thing to see when the colors are at their height. I've looked down in here many times. Oh, there's Mr. Bald Eagle, flappity flappity flappy. I figured at some point I had to show you a bald eagle. I've only seen about, I don't know, 30 of them so far. Anyway, I've been up there looking down at this valley, and always wanted to do the whole Wisconsin River, and I'm very close to achieving that. Okay, Wisconsin graffiti artists, where are you? Every one of these bridge I pass has this great big billboard of opportunity, and none of it's getting taken advantage of. What the heck? Oh, what do we have over here? Let's look. Fleets of turkey vultures. Turkey vultures on dead trees. That seems like an appropriate setting for them. Here comes my last terrifying bridge abutment to go past. You'd think the current would want to take me around these things, but it seems to take me into it. You know, these, like that one's different from this one. This one's got a metal prow on it. There's a round one over there, and I think I've made amends with my fear of bridge abutments, because you know, it's pretty grooving. All right, just as I say that, I didn't notice that there was a big log stuck underneath there. All right, you see back there, there was a log, and I just ran right into it, scraped up the bottom of the boat, which is a thing about filming. You do need to pay some attention, and I could have gone through any other gap and then it would have been fine. But I'll have a quiet moment of paranoia. This is the floating postal tote. It'd be really silly if I stuck a hole in the thing and couldn't complete my trip at the last second because I scraped into a log. But nothing obvious at this point. For the second time in my life, I had the experience of hearing a tree fall in the forest while I was asleep in my tent. And I know exactly what that sneaky bastard tree was doing. It was thinking like, look, nobody's around, I don't want to make a big fuss, and I certainly don't want to make a noise. So I'm going to fall over now. And then over it went crack, bam, and Polly went like, what the hell? I made this gigantic noise. There must be somebody around somewhere. And of course it had no idea that, you know, not that far away, I was sleeping in my tent. Go figure. So one of the many ways that I'm not adapting well to becoming an old guy is that, you know, I like to go. Like when I hike, I like to chug along like a steam engine. I don't know, I just like going and watching the world flow around me. Now when I started this trip, the first day was calm wind, kind of like now, and I paddled along, that was great. The next 2 days, the afternoons, I had strong headwinds and had to paddle really hard, and at some point just gave it up and said like, okay, I guess I gotta just, you know, rest and wait this out. But on days 4 and 5, the last two, I had a tailwind, so I thought like, you know, I better take advantage of this and really crank out some miles. And now I'm in this situation where, I'm not going to get picked up for like another 7 hours. So why not just go slow and enjoy everything? And boy, it sounds like a brilliant idea. Uh, I am still moving, barely, but why crank along like is my natural habitat to get to the boat landing and then just lay there for like 5 hours? Seems kind of stupid. But I've noticed the thing about myself. I am a creature of inertia, and I don't get started easy and I don't stop easy. And so I'm finding it a little tough to let go of that. Go, 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 go. We got to get in the miles before the headwind comes back. And by the way, the headwind might come back. Might be on the Mississippi. I'm getting gusts. I'm wondering if it's the wind swirling around. Like right then now, this is a headwind. And if this negates the current, oh my God, I might have to paddle. There's a bald eagle sitting in a tree. I've seen zillions of them, but don't get much of a chance to film them. So just around that bend, I'll be on the Mississippi, which is right here. Just saw some fishermen go by and they said it's windy and choppy. So my last, what would have been 45 minutes might turn into an ordeal. Hopefully I can suck up against one of the shores, find a little bit of windbreak. In which case it should be, 45 minutes of sitting on my butt. But guy said it's not like it is here, which is calm. So we're about to find out. Those crumpled up logs right here at the bend. And there is the Mississippi. I do see current, I see sticks. I kind of wanted to film my triumphant entrance onto the Mississippi, but I think I'm going to be paddling and paying attention. And then I'll update you once I get around the corner just how tough it's going to get and how much wind there is. I do see whitecaps. It doesn't look good. But let's use the power of pessimism to say it's going to be absolutely horrible, and then I'll have extra room if it's only bad to be relieved in. Yeah, let's do that. Positive pessimism. Here we go. Okay, the floating postal tote has made it to the Mississippi River. The problem is Mississippi's full of whitecaps and the headwind is super duper strong. I can just barely make progress against it paddling. I think my first strategy is I'm just going to walk the boat down this beach. And, if the beach keeps up, maybe I can just walk all the way there. Hopefully at some point I can get to a place where the wind's blocked a little bit and the going's a little easier. If not, oh God, hopefully it calms down towards the evening. In which case it should be, a simple 45-minute float. The way I was paddling, it will take the entire 5 hours that I've got till I get picked up to get there. Anyway, I'm gonna go get the boat, start dragging it through the water, and see how it goes. So to put this picture into context, this is one of the few spots where I could get back out of the river and take a little bit of break. I did end up towing the boat by a rope to this point. The beginning was okay. It was sandy. I couldn't hike right by the shore because the waves were strong enough that they were swamping the boat. So I had to walk out a little ways in about knee-deep water, and then, I could make headway there. Then the surface under the water turned into about 5 inches of this slimy, sticky mud, and that made life even more difficult. But that wasn't all, because then somebody decided to, protect the shore against erosion and threw just tons of rocks for, like a good mile. And your feet would come down on just God only knows what, because the water is this pea green murk when you're looking straight down at it. And so each step, is my foot going to get twisted right, left, back, forward, smash between two rocks. And this just went on and on and on. Luckily enough, after a certain point, there was a small island off the shore, and I could get into the lee of that. Up to that point, like when I met like a down tree that that I couldn't wait around, so I had to get in the boat and paddle. I mean, I was making like a baby creeping headway. Like you'd have to pick a trunk of a tree or a rock and then start paddling and go like, am I actually moving? And yes, just barely if I used all my might. So this was an incredibly, incredibly fatiguing part of the whole trip. Yeah, see, look, there I am, all fatigued. I don't know if I was actually trying to take a picture of myself at this point, or I was just so tired that something happened and my fingers mashed the buttons and I ended up taking a picture. Of course, if you had the right boat, it was really no big deal. But I did eventually make it to this place, the Wyalusing Public Boat Launch, and hung out for a few hours until my brother picked me up. All right, so I made it to the very end. This is the first goal all year that I've actually accomplished, that I set out for myself. Holy smoke, there's my brother Jeff. We're driving back in the car. If you notice, there's no video of me sitting at the boat launch going, yay, I finished. You know why? Because somebody decided that their favorite music was everybody's favorite music, and it was playing so loud that if I make a video, then you know what? I'll get a copyright strike on the video because it will be in the background. So now we're doing it here. Anyway, what the hell did I say earlier? So basically 3 miles should have been with a 6 mile an hour current on the Mississippi, should have been a half an hour. It was 4.5 hours. Headwind, dragging the boat, cutting my big toe open, smashing my feet on rocks. The only good part was the last bit. I met a couple of people from Iowa, and they gave me some cheese, and given my Wisconsin heritage, besides the Frebonis, what could be better than having some cheese? Anyway, and it's got cheese on it too. So anyway, Jeff picked me up, yay for him. Yay. And that's the end. So yeah, here's the power of positive pessimism. I went into this pessimistic with lots of room to be disappointed, lots of room not to be disappointed because I was being pessimistic. So given that I actually pulled it off, now I've got lots of reasons to go like, wow, that happened and it was delightful and yay, instead of being super optimistic and having it not work out and then being really disappointed. Okay, I'm all done blathering. Bye. Well, after finishing up the edit of this video, a couple of things come to mind, and it has to do with storytelling and how it applies to YouTube. When you're out having an adventure, for the most part, I'm having the adventure. That's my focus. And yet, if you're going to make a video, you got to say, am I telling the story? Am I capturing the events that make up that story? And you never really know until you get back, and then you start, editing away, and you go like, I need this or I need that, and it's not there. And I think to me where this is really obvious is at the end, I voiced over some still shots because I just completely failed to capture the whole drama of this relatively teeny chunk of the Mississippi. 3 miles, 6 mile current. Man, half an hour on another day, that would have been nothing. But as it was, there was 20 mile an hour wind, there was whitecaps, there was waves breaking on the shore that were trying to swamp the boat. I ended up dragging it, like I said in the video, but I didn't capture any of that drama. And I'm going, well, why didn't I? And I think the thing is when I get in a situation like that, where I was seriously concerned whether or not I would make it. And to be clear, we're not talking about dying here. We're talking about whether or not I could make it to the takeout where my brother was coming to pick me up. As far as my own safety, besides it being a pain in the ass, I mean, I had food, I had water, I had shelter. You know, I could have sat there for another 4 days and waited for the weather to clear up. Would have pissed off my brother who drove all the way out there to get me. But I think because I went into head down, crank it out mode, I forgot about shooting. And I think that's going to be a note to self on videos that I'm going to make in the future, is that I need to get out that camera, even when it's really a pain in the butt, and say, here's part of the story. It was really easy to capture the idyllic parts of it when, you know, it was warm and sunny and I didn't have to paddle and I just sat there and watched the world go by. But there's a big absence of, you know, the hard parts of the trip. And you put these all together and that makes a story. The hard parts make the good parts better. The good parts provide the contrast to the hard parts. And that adds a value to that storytelling, in that, you know, something was at stake and something had to be given for something to be gained. And telling the complete story will give you that picture. So anyway, for those of you who watch, I'll do better next time.